We are being recorded. Right here.
Oh, I get.
I think we're actually gonna start just a couple minutes early because everyone, well, actually, I guess Jerry and Liz aren't on yet. A few minutes.
Oh, is Liz for sure calling in?
Yeah, both of them are.
Jerry's still out of town?
No, I think he's in town, but I think he's in town.
School.
Yeah. Hi. Good. How are you doing? I had to learn how to make sure my phone was off. I got it on, and I don't know how that is.
Oh, I should mute.
Learning.
Yeah. Thanks for.
I just forget those.
Everything is hard to figure out. The worst thing you get. Yeah, I don't know these people.
Does anybody need to see the lecture school? Just a calendar. I printed it and I brought a copy because it's attached to all of this stuff. Take a look. Take a look.
When I walked up, Google Maps says it's 1.6 miles from my house. The pedometer says it's 2.25.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wednesday, 22nd.
Okay. I trust Google Maps more.
3 weeks.
Did you use the map?
2 weeks from
map app and you pick your start and your finish and kind of draw your route?
Intuition was
not on the app. Yeah. It just counts the steps and how far.
Okay.
The day
I usually use like
my semester.
Google Maps.
You guys would usually start like later.
Usually we do.
And then you can plot your route.
Well, that I did. That's how I knew it was 1.6.
Okay. Yeah, I believe
told
that.
it was walking.
Maybe you need to recalibrate your pedometer.
Yeah, but how?
I think you can do.
Well, and they say, most of them say, it depends on the quality of sensor in your phone. And I got a cheap phone.
So he deleted.
Just go buy one of those little pedometers you can hook on your belt.
My Fitbit will let me like adjust my stride.
Yeah.
Like in the app, but
He was probably pretty mad.
Yeah, you should have a 3-foot. You don't now.
You got a post.
I don't remember what I put for mine. But
Yeah, I checked it on and I didn't have it either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was not taking prisoners out there. It was kind of funny. Like I feel bad, but
I think with the email with the Zoom,
I assume the Zoom link was in that email.
yeah.
Labor Day.
Okay.
If Liz has trouble getting in, she'll message one of us, I'm sure.
One more minute, but
I can message her a reminder.
I just sent you a text.
Okay.
You coming?
Yeah.
He's on Teams. I don't think so.
We got
That's all I do.
Okay.
Just Zoom. Did you go on the city's website and do it? I think you
Yeah, and then you can
go on your
promoters or
website.
panels.
Go to.
So was there an agenda email to me?
You're welcome to look at mine.
Okay.
So I've known Emily's daughter for 20 years plus.
Yeah,
We've been old school friends, we went to school together.
yeah.
So it's kind of nice.
It is, I know. It's to see an actual human.
Yeah.
You're real. It's not just a Facebook entity.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if anybody has, Corin, do you have the link to the meeting by any chance? Could you try and forward it to Liz?
So does she need it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
Is this an
Yeah, I can do that.
no, it's the only copy I have.
All right, well, we'll get started. There's Jerry. Hi, Jerry. I'm gonna call our meeting to order, the Green Space Advisory Commission meeting. We're calling it to order. We are recording the meeting. And it doesn't look like we have any guests today. Ginger, would you take a roll?
Sure. I'm going to do it out of, well, I'll do it as, so Carrie,
Here.
Ginger, here, Bill,
Yeah.
Liz, is Liz on yet? No.
Not yet.
Okay, Laura, Joe,
Here,
Jerry, where Jerry's there, right?
Yeah.
Hi, Jerry. Corin.
mostly here.
And
Here.
Shepherd,
Sorry. Other end.
Yvonne.
Yep.
And Emily Horton.
Yes, Emily, welcome. This Emily,
Emily.
welcome. Not that you're. Welcome.
We're excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining the commission. Yeah, I thought we could just do a little introduction. I know you interviewed with the commissioners or
Right.
with the council,
Right.
but if you want to tell us a little bit about why you're here, and then we could all introduce ourselves. I don't think you know.
Well, the upfront reason is No Mo April. I loved it. I also loved it that it seemed to be, at least visually, pretty successful and kind of well supported. The stupid letters in the paper notwithstanding. So I have this sort of bizarre idea in my head about a thing called Wilder Groves, which would be kind of maximizing initiatives like that to capture all the little raggy open space corners and just get them for native planting.
I like
I don't know how that would be accomplished. I wish Liz was here because she's kind of a major thing about that because of Larson Park and the Shady Creek water problems. So
Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
my background is I have a BA in history from Webster, MA from UMSL almost as soon as I wrote the thesis. And I my first actual real job was at what was then called the Arboretum of the Missouri Shaw Nature Reserve. And then I worked for St. Louis County Parks for 6 years. And then after that, what did I do? Oh, I had sort of an interim job at the law library at WashU. And then I retired from the St. Louis Art Museum as a museum education assistant. That's what all those positions were all the time. There was not a career path then, but there is now because of old people like me who started out being tour guides in natural areas. And I am currently a volunteer at the Missouri Botanical Garden in the herbarium, which just celebrated the acquisition of its 7 millionth specimen.
You've been doing that for years, haven't you?
Since 2010. Yeah, a long time. So I do two things there. I do data entry and editing for Tropicos, which is the garden's online catalog of plant specimens. And I'm also the sort of interim textile curator because the garden has a small collection of objects, everything made from plants, of course. And among that collection are many very interesting textiles. So I look at them, I try to figure out what they are and what they're made of and how that happened and what that history was. And then I add that information to Tropicos, to the database.
Cool. Great. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
No, Joe, if we just want to kind of go around the table, you can start.
All right. Well, my name is Joe Oki. I've been on commission now, what, 2 years, year and a half, 2 years, roughly. Certified arborist, resident in Webster for 12 or 13 years now. Originally from Springfield, Missouri. So, yeah.
Just as an aside, Emily's daughter is a world-class expert in archaeology of plants. So when you're talking about doing museum stuff on fibers and plants, like
right, yeah.
Wow.
My daughter is a paleoethnobotanist, so she has little tiny, infinitesimally small niche in archaeology. She does seed analysis for seed remains from archaeology sites, which is about as obscure as you can get.
Or
we haven't done field work together, but I have consulted with her, like, hey, I've got a question about plants because you are the expert. She's probably in the top 5 in the region. I mean, she's great.
There's a few because it's so obscure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So how long have you been on the commission?
2 years. I came on at the same time as Joe. I'm an archaeologist like your daughter, but I have a long-term love of plants. And actually your daughter's advisor, Gail Fritz, got me really into plants when I was in college, which got me more into stuff like this. And then I ended up on the Green Space Commission because of that.
Yeah, well, for me, history was the doorway to plants because the history of colonialism is laid out for everyone in the herbarium at the Missouri Town Garden.
Great. I'm Laura Jordan. I've been on here 3 years. I am an accountant and I love plants and native gardening and trees. So I'm super excited to be here.
I'm Yvonne. I'm the park superintendent.
Yay, Yvonne.
And I'm Carrie Coyne, co-chair. Joe and I sort of share that duty, official chair. And I've been on the commission for, I don't know how long, 5 years maybe. Oh yeah, it's right there. 5 years.
And not counting because we don't want
My background is in landscape architecture and horticulture. And I just really love native plants and things. They're really important to our ecology. So it's been a thrill to work with Yvonne over the past 5 years because she has been doing things the right way here in the city for a long time.
Thank you for saying the right way.
And I want to support, that's why I'm here, basically, support her. Yeah, and I want to tell you about some of the initiatives we're working on after everybody gets done, so you kind of know where we're coming from. Go ahead, Bill. I know you know where.
Yeah, I would say I've known her since 2009 when I joined the Master Naturalist chapter she's in.
Yeah.
You are currently our longest serving commissioner, right?
No matter how hard they try, I just keep coming back. I think they finally got me.
Maybe. They did tighten things up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm glad to see another master naturalist on the board and commission. But my family's been gardening with the natives since 1953. So and I've always had a love for the outdoors and plants and stuff.
Yeah, it's the wild stuff.
Yeah. Emily, you're forced to be with us, right?
we got to pick which cruise you want to be on, and I got my pick, so I have to be here.
You had one with short straw.
It was not the short straw. Yeah, so I'm on council, get on there for you right you before that you on that. And yeah, I'm a council liaison to Green Space, and it's a really cool commission, does a lot of great stuff, and I'm excited I get to have a little piece of it.
No April, that was just killer.
Okay, Ginger Garrett. We've met plenty of times. It was awesome working with Glenn back in the day. So I've been on since 2014 and I love it. Like
what's not to love?
It's the best thing ever. I love plants, I love trees. I tell everybody that we're the Lorax of Webster Groves. Like when they ask us what we do. So that's they kind of understand it then. But we've got so many wonderful things coming through that we've done in our speaker series. It's just such a wonderful thing to be a part of. So I love it, and I am gonna try to stay on. So we'll see how that goes.
All right, Liz / Corin.
Can you see me? Yeah, I look like I'm Corin. I got a link from Corin. I know Emily, and I'm here because I also care about green space, and you know me from Stream Team. I know you from Stream Team. And I'm so glad you're here. We all want to protect the green spaces of Webster and see them grow.
Jerry, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Jerry Pinkner. I've been on the Green Space Commission, I think like 3 years. To help run the Mayor's Monarch Pledge, pollinator gardens, and I've been gardening forever. Been in Webster for more than 30 years, and anything we can do to keep greening it.
Thanks, Jerry and Liz. So I'm sure I'm gonna forget a couple of things when I'm talking to you guys, so help me remember, but I just wanted to share with Emily some of the additional things we're doing besides No Mo April, which we've gotten a lot of good feedback on, and we're gonna be doing that again, I'm sure. And actually a big proponent of that was Linda Green. I don't know if you knew her. She was a member on the Green Space Commission and passed away over the summer or over the spring, I guess. So we give a lot of credit to Linda for NOMO, but it was definitely a team effort. So that's one of the things we're doing. We're also this fall doing a campaign about leaving the leaves. So we'll talk a little bit about that today. You can take pictures of these things if you want to. We also have 2 sort of initiatives related to trees for a very long time. We've been honoring, in conjunction with Arbor Day, a tree of distinction and a tree steward. I don't know how many years that's going on, 20 years, 15 to 20 years that we've been doing that and celebrating Arbor Day to help the city sort of maintain its certification as a Tree City USA. So off of that, we have built an initiative to, we're calling it Green Our City, but to plant trees in the public rights of way at residences across the city. This is our 2nd year for doing that. And we've got a great crop and folks for this year, and we'll talk a little bit more about that too. As Ginger mentioned, we have an Eco Ed series that we're doing with the Sustainability Commission, and they're actually going to have an event this Thursday, 7 o'clock, Webster U. But we team up and try and have a monthly event about something related to sustainability or ecology. And we've had pretty good success with all of those events, and we want to keep building on that. And the Sustainability Commission is sort of taking on the second half of the year. We sort of populated the first half of 2023's calendar. So we have a subcommittee that we work with the Sustainability Commission on joint projects like that. What, anything else I'm forgetting? No. We're working right now on trying to update or maybe just tie together better the Greenkeepers volunteer base that Yvonne and I think Linda helped start a while ago, but to connect them with more of what we're doing, connect them to the trees of distinction, to the Green Our City, to Leave the Leaves, and all of that stuff. So I'm actually going to talk to you guys a little bit about that, an idea I have for that tonight as well. Did I miss anything else that we're doing? Everybody gives a lot of their time, which is great. You know, we all show up at events and volunteer. And
actually, I think there was one last week I signed up for, but I couldn't go due to a death in the family. There was a weeding. Was that part of this?
Yeah, probably Ivy Crockett, I think.
Okay,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Can I keep these?
Actually, do you have a camera? Could you take pictures?
I do.
Carry on the joint subcommittee, maybe the stormwater initiative is another like big.
Yes, with the joint subcommittee, we've been working on stormwater. We've been working on the Eco Ed series. We're starting to dip our toe into the Dark Skies initiative.
Yes.
Anything else we're working on with them? Corin?
That's the main.
Corin and I are going to sit on that subcommittee.
Yeah.
What is it? The what?
Our collaboration with sustainability, which started out as a way to do stormwater stuff and expanded to include other projects, the Eco Ed series, the talks, as well as Dark Skies, reducing light pollution, which was a big push.
Oh, those are the Larson Park. Are those the Larson Park? There were a bunch of talks at Larson.
We gave at least one at Larson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the others have been at the library and
now at Webster U, yeah.
Now at Webster U. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that's just a brief introduction about who we are, and I can get you any of that stuff you want for future reference. Thought I brought something else for you, but not there. Oh, here, this is the Green North City thing. You can keep that. I had an extra copy of that.
Okay.
Thanks, Bill. So I think we'll go on to our normal business meeting if nobody has anything else to add to those introductions. Okay. I'd like to call for an approval of the June minutes. Everybody, I know, Emily, you didn't have a chance to look at those, but you're on the list now, I know, so you'll be getting those in the agendas for the meeting.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any comments, questions?
I know I wrote them and I don't remember that, but
I have a question on and only because of the how we use the in-kind contribution for the borough. Those were calendar year funds, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's the only maybe correction because
Fiscal year, I think.
yeah, should be fiscal.
Oh, sorry. July 1 to June 30.
Okay.
Not calendar.
Okay.
Yeah, so we get 2 opportunities a year, fiscal year, to sponsor an event. And by sponsoring an event, we can, there's a little bit of paperwork that our liaison has to do, but we can get some fees waived for permitting. So we sponsored the Baroque Festival this year. So that waived some fees. And then I think Corin actually showed up with Liz and they kind of represented the commission and the stream team. So actually I want to talk a little bit about that.
And our tree steward of the year was there too.
Good.
Talking about a big, I can't remember what the catchphrase is, but like a big oak recognition.
Yeah, and Joe could probably give us a little update on that.
so do I need
1,000 oaks.
100 oaks for the roster. What's Rotary? Thank you.
Rotary
Club.
Vince.
Yeah, Vince.
Yeah.
Hughley.
Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, I might ask you for a little surprise.
do I need to make a correction?
No. Okay, no. Okay, sorry.
Can I motion to
So,
approve the minutes?
I
wrote
motion to
them, or
approve
you
the
motion to
minutes.
approve? Okay.
Anybody want a second? Corin will second. All right, old business then.
To vote.
Oh, vote, thank you. Can we vote to approve the minutes?
Aye.
I
All right. Old business, the 4th of July participation recap. I'm gonna let you talk about it.
Sure. So Carrie and I had a blast doing the 4th of July thing. It was pretty fun. Carrie and her husband had decorated the vehicle, which Yvonne had provided to us to use, a little electric cart to drive around, and we'd put up a big sign that Carrie and Yvonne had gotten together.
Which looked a lot like this.
Looked just like that. And we had a lot of fun driving around and talking, and we got a pretty positive response from the community. There was a lot of cheering, especially from young people, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
2 or 3 negative comments. People like, I mow my lawn, which was
We know
fine.
who they are.
Yeah. And actually, the mayor was riding with us toward the end.
Yeah.
When one of these men shouted out, I mow my lawn, and she said, that's fine. That's your prerogative. We just rolled off. I thought it was very diplomatically dismissive,
Yeah.
you know, like that was good.
Yeah.
So it was good. We had fun. Community seemed to like it. I would do it again. Do we need to add anything else?
No, I think that my only addition would be the vehicle made the difference.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've walked in one parade before
Yeah.
and
It was hot.
it's a lot, yeah. So this
Wanted
was,
to catch
didn't
up
make
with
it
the
to
parade is not fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it was much more pleasurable, so.
Oh, and Carrie brought bubbles and a horn.
Oh, nice.
Which was a blast too. And the little kids kept being like bubbles. So We blew until we about passed out. We didn't have like one of those
bubble maker, bubble gun.
Notes for next year.
Yeah. And the horn died halfway through.
I fixed it.
You did.
Oh, well.
That's awesome.
It was good. Yeah, and a lot of people shouted, no mo April. So that was really
great.
fun.
It was affirming.
Yeah. All right. So that's just kind of a fun recap. Does anybody have any questions about the 4th of July thing? I have a feeling next year we're gonna have like a bidding war to be in the vehicle.
Sounds like it.
You'll get two. Maybe. I think you do have two that we could use. So the other one's got a cover on it.
Oh, fancy.
Okay, then the next item of old business is the leaves update. So this is active on the city's website right now. But right now it just links to a little bit of information. I need to probably add some stuff to that. And I'm getting a quote right now for yard signs. But I talked to Jen Starkey, and she does not have funds this go around for yard signs. So we'll need to make a decision about how we want to handle that. Let's see. So I was thinking that we could sell the signs online if we thought people would want signs, basically just to make up the cost for the sign itself. And I've formatted a sign very similar to the size of the one we did for Nomo April. So once I have a cost for those, I could let you guys know what that cost would be per sign and see if we want to, I don't know, could we like front the cost for a purchase of 50 and then?
Yeah, I have no idea how that works. Like, could basically donating or buying it from the. I'm sure there's a way. I just want to know how what the mechanics of that are.
Okay, I wonder if Jen would know. She. Or we could even just post the PDF, online of the thing and say you don't have to pay for this. You can print it and post it in your window or on a stake in your yard and laminate it, kind of thing. Yeah. That's what the Xerces Society does with their Nomo campaign. They just have stuff you can download for free. So, I mean, we could just order signs for us and then see what happens after that. Does anybody have any thoughts about that? I was thinking if we did sell signs, that we would need some volunteer time to put them together, because you just get the laminated cardboard thing and the stakes. So we would need somebody would need to put those together. I guess we wouldn't have to, actually, we could just get both.
Should we got any regulations on selling stuff?
If you can't do it for profit.
We would just do it at cost.
Well, I know, but I didn't know if there was any hoops to jump through this.
I think it'll be harder to do that versus having someone or just people go ahead and buy their own, have their own made.
So we could probably send a design to someplace like.
Yeah, like these are the locations you can order a sign. Yeah, I think that's your best bet.
I called, so Minutemen Press was the one who helped create the sign for the parade, of big giant sign. So I called them to ask for a quote. They haven't gotten back to me yet, but I could ask them about that.
Yeah, they're a one-off school family, so I'm sure they'd be happy to help some more.
We could say we would like to order a minimum that we could spread, and we could chip in for.
We could just do a pre-order. Like, so that we would get, people would let us know that they wanted to order. So then when we put in the order, we would have all their money already and not have to worry about
it. Pre-order and pick up the signs later.
Pre-order with cash, but how do you do pre-orders?
So do you have a ballpark figure of?
I mean,
The last sign was, no, I don't really, I'm waiting on a quote from them.
yeah, that's something
It's probably about 20 to 25.
That's what I was gonna say, because that's the quote I got for the last one.
20 to 25%. Okay.
Yeah,
we do
20.
for the school signs that we order, but I don't know if we get such a good deal because we order so many.
I mean, I ordered for the campaign, they were $5, but.
Right. Well, I think that's what our ones are for the school, and for the parents club,
Where did you get yours?
we're obviously selling for money.
OC Peckham, Peckham in South. But I also, it was two, one color. And, I ordered, a number of them all at once. So I'm sure there were discounts in there for that.
Yeah, when we did the no mo signs, they were full color, and everybody knows what those look like.
Yeah.
And we did like 100 at a time.
Okay.
And that includes the two-sided foam with the stake.
Yeah, and the sides have to be the same.
Right.
So what's nice about the signs are, and even if we just did enough for us, I know that's not a lot, or enough for us and the parks or publics, whatever. We could put the QR code on it, and then that would send people to the city's website to learn more about it.
I have a question. Are the parks going to leave the leaves?
We usually do. There's a few that we crunch them up.
Okay.
And then we leave them. There's a few parks that are too small to leave them because there's just space to crunch them. Like City Hall, we can't really leave.
Oh, yeah.
But for the most part, they're left.
And this is really geared toward residents.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know that you guys have the same sort of resources and abilities that
we mow like the parks did for the most part, but for legally, not asking the city to do anything differently than they normally do.
Well, for people who are gardening or native gardening, the high value is it's free mulch.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's like, I would think that would be a marketing point of.
Well, that's actually some of the information on the website.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
And Carrie, I know you said that Jenny doesn't have the budget, but does the commission have the budget? Because don't you get a small budget, or did they pull it this year?
I think it's different than last year, but Scott hasn't given me that number, and I can't pull that account. So
I should know. I don't remember. I feel like maybe this year they pulled it.
There was 1,000 last year, but I don't think it's that much this year.
Okay.
What? Sorry. So I don't know, maybe we go around the table. What are you kind of leaning towards? Say it was $25 a sign.
That's expensive.
That is expensive.
That's very expensive.
Yeah.
Would you want to buy one for yourself?
Would I?
Uh-huh.
Probably not. I'll probably print off and laminate it and stick it in my yard.
Okay.
I like the idea of having it available to print and laminate. I also like the idea of people being able to buy a fancy one. And it might be nice if we could talk or like make it available, like you could donate. But somebody with money might be like, I'm going to give you $200 to buy signs for other people. Like if we could set that system up.
I have another question then. I mean, is it possible to solicit money from people by us, members of the commission?
We would just need a place to put that money. I mean, someone would need to manage that.
Yeah.
Like
accounting.
the sign fund.
An accountant?
Well, I mean, you have to have a bank account, I imagine. I don't think.
We can't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
We can't open a bank account just for the commission.
Yeah. If someone makes a donation to the parks, we put it in the Pave the Way fund. And so that potentially could be.
So the way fund.
It's for if someone wants a paver.
Okay.
Which I need to order some.
I mean, I'm fine with doing the accounting if that's what if you all decide to do that. I don't mind. Well, there's doing that, but accounting, but then there's also sort of marketing and pitching the idea. So I don't know who has availability or time to do that sort of.
Well, a wonderful marketing outlet in Webster is Novel Neighbor. they have signs for Black Lives Matter, Pride. And I mean, I don't know how those are made available, but when we want those signs, that's where we go to get them.
Maybe would you be willing to go
Right.
talk to them and
Yeah, I'll do it.
Great.
Yeah, maybe see how that works for them.
Okay.
Or how they work with Black Lives Matter folks.
Yeah,
Say, for example, did the Black Lives Matter folks bring their signs to Novel Neighbor, and do you pay Novel Neighbor when you pick up a sign?
But yeah, the most we've ever spent is $5. Fine.
Yeah, that would be good to research. Okay.
Keep going around.
Yeah, I do want to keep going around. Would you want to put a sign in your yard?
Oh,
Just that sort of basic question.
I mean, I just think that's kind of expensive. And I think if we're going to buy them, I think maybe just having them to keep costs down, if they cost that much, just keep them in the public areas. I mean, I can have one, but I really don't want to pay for it.
Right. Well,
$25 for it.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but like, I don't know how many people will see the sign in my yard. It's like, not many people go.
I mean, I guess a lot of people would probably see it in my yard because I live on Rock Hill Road. So yeah. I mean, that's fine. But.
Yeah. What about you, Bill? What do you think about this idea?
I would throw one out, but I wouldn't buy one. And I'm not sure people could see it in my yard the way the front of it is right now.
Yeah, our yard too, it's like a forest, so it would have to be right out at the curb.
I mean, the beauty was we had some extra funds given to us last year, so we were able to print a bunch of them and give them away. What about you, Ginger?
I mean, I would buy one. I mean, it is expensive, but figure, we use it year after year after year.
Yeah.
So I like the idea also of being able to just print them and laminate them and what I mean. I think we should have many options available for folks.
Well, then what I'm thinking is at a minimum, we post the sign design to be printed, downloaded for free. Just download it.
I have access to a laminator at the preschool. If you guys want me to laminate
Scott said that we have a printer. Oh, he has a printer that prints big stuff.
Oh,
that did like the council during the parade, that whole side of the.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's louder. It's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scratch that.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say, "Hey, we'll print one for you."
Let's print 500.
Right. Not a good idea. Yeah, we should print some for the park.
preschool might be like, it's like 10, 15.
Okay, so we'll download for free. I'll check on the costs for the sign as designed. And if they say, if there was less color, we could do it for this much. I could dumb down the colors on it a little bit. And then Emily will check with
Novel Neighbor
and see just like what kind of arrangement they have.
Just find out how they do that. I don't know how they do it, but I'm always glad that they have, because we can't join Black Lives Matter and don't belong to any pride organization. So, but they always have the stuff. So.
And I will talk to.
We should also post it at the MAPA. We should also post it. We should also post at the MAPA shop.
Oh, Maypop?
Maypop.
Oh, Maypop.
I thought I said mom.
I did. Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to send an email around, because I think we need to collect ideas for where this thing needs to go. I think Jerry brings up a really good point.
Which was? I didn't hear it.
He said we should post it at Maypop Garden Shop.
Oh,
And you know, Linda used to take things to the library. She did the newspaper thing. So we kind of need to market it outside of what we've done to date, which is the parade and the website. So maybe I'll send an email around and we could brainstorm like where it should go. And if you have a contact at that place, maybe we could print some copies from Yvonne just for us to take to Rolling Ridge or Maypop or Schnars or wherever else we think might be a good place to put this thing, at the library, etc.
Okay, so for a long time, I did that for the Monday Club to publicize their art exhibits. So I went everywhere in Webster, all up and down Old Webster, Old Orchard. All the places in Old Orchard are always more than welcome. Graphica, that's a great place to put flyers, and Novelmator, obviously.
Are you volunteering to do
Yeah,
that?
I am. I will, because I've already done that circuit.
I love it.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
it's
That
all
is
the art galleries and bookstores.
So we could do something almost just like this for you that would have the QR code. And
Yeah.
leave the leads, and then people could check it out.
Yep.
Yay, Emily.
Yeah, because the city website is tough to negotiate.
And this takes you right, this QR code takes you right to the
Directly
page.
to the place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll talk to Jen Starkey and just get the sign into multiple types of formats that people could print. So at a starting point, if we can
Distribute flyers,
market it, yeah. Have you ever talked with the Webster Kirkwood Times about stuff? About marketing programs like that?
No, somebody else did that job with Monday Club. No, I was just the delivery mule. I took all the flyers around. So they'll know me at all those places, which is, Schnars.
Did you guys reach out to them first and say, we're going to bring this thing? Or you just sort of showed up?
Walk in the door and say, hi,
all right,
would you do this? Euclid Records, they're awesome.
Okay.
And, Green Door Gallery, they're just awesome.
Yeah, Straub's has got a
Betty's books,
bulletin board. Straub's has got a bulletin board that you can post stuff on.
Yeah, Straub's.
I used to take posters up there.
Well, I think, when do you guys think we need to, I guess, button up the details on this? Like, be ready to post signs.
We probably have to get it figured out at our next meeting, I would think.
You probably need to get ready and like dialed in by mid-September, because
Leaves are going to start to fall.
things will start, changing, falling. So
Okay. Well, I'm supposed to talk to Jenny at the end of the month about something else. So I'll talk to her and hopefully I'll get a quote. And then I'll put an email out to you guys. And then we can kind of brainstorm through email about how to proceed with this.
I have a tenuous contact at the Webster Kirkwood Times, so I'd be willing to attempt that side of once we get there.
I mean, we could always pay for an ad.
Yeah,
I'm sure. And I think Jenny, the city has some permissions, some
days or something, or community page.
Yeah.
And they pay for like a certain amount of space every month or something.
Yeah.
So Jenny would know that. And we did that before, like when it was my turn to write for council, I wrote about Novo and then there's like a whole page. So she might have some ideas on how to get it in.
But if you want to talk to those people, just say there's something you want to advertise and what are the options, maybe.
I'll take a shot at it.
Okay.
You know what? I can do that. Just want to do a story on it.
Yeah.
You know somebody there?
I do.
Okay. That'd be great if you feel confident.
We're just asking the options for advertising outside of the
or
monthly calendar.
Or if there's something they would like to do a story on.
Story is free publicity.
Yeah.
The young woman who interviewed me about composting said that I could contact her in the future if we wanted to do a story about something. But that one never ran, as far as I could tell. That story about me talking about the composting. I don't think it ever actually got in the newspaper.
Well, maybe do you want to talk to her first?
You can do that.
Okay.
And then if she's like, no, we can't do this.
Yeah, we can both try.
Then Laura could, well, you could reach out first.
Yeah,
And then you
let me
could let
know,
Laura know.
and yeah, because that way
And
we're
you
not
could go another direction if she, but if
Yeah.
she was serious,
I hope so.
this is a big thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Yvonne would talk to her about it for a story.
Yeah.
I could talk to her. Because we could find somebody from the Department of Conservation to talk about it.
Karen Shank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we got a lot of folks that could talk to her about it.
Okay, sounds good.
Probably some good pictures too.
I'll reach out this week, or certainly before the next meeting.
Okay. And I think if it could run in September, that would be really good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So Corin will check with, who is your contact? Do you remember her name?
I don't remember her name.
Jamie Mowers or no?
I don't think so. But like I said, I'm not sure. She was much younger than me, and Linda called her a stringer. Someone who
Yeah.
is putting together stories. I know. She seemed very nice and enthusiastic about our causes, though. So
Okay. So Corin's gonna reach out to that person. Emily's going to
Take flyers to.
take flyers once we're ready to roll with those. I'll send an email after I get the quote to let you guys know how much they are. I'll prep the PDF/JPEG, whatever it is, to give to Jenny, and I'll talk to Jenny about, the abilities we have for pre-buying signs and selling.
and if I don't get any traction, I'll pass to Laura.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else about that? Any other thoughts?
I'm excited about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Then we'll go on to the next item on the list, which is a recap of the Borough Festival. Is Corin still there?
Corin.
How did that go, Liz?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Burr Oak, it was awesome. We were questioning weather for sure.
Yeah.
But it happened. We had a good turnout, and we had a stream team table. We had a sign up table for greenkeepers. Vince was there talking about signing up people for nominating oak trees for the Rotary Club's Legacy Oak Tree initiative. And it was cool. It was a cool night. We did get rain. We had to close down early, but overall it was really cool. I think next year I'd like to try and have a tree giveaway, and we're talking about doing it maybe in September to move the date to a more accommodating weather time of year. So there's conversation about kind of pushing that, and then I think that'd be really cool for putting out oak trees for the Burr Oak Festival to get people to plant those. We'll see if that happens. They're open. They're kind of riding on the idea that it's been the same week every year for the 3 years that they've done it, and I get that, but maybe September is the new date. So we're talking about it.
Was the turnout as good as years past?
It was a hot night, and expecting rain, and we still had like 250 people. And I think usually we have like 300. It didn't, to me, look like it went as far into the field as it normally goes, but like we had a great turnout.
Great. Did you get anybody Corin talking to you about green space or?
We had a little bit of casual chatter, like a couple people, but nothing major. Mostly I talked to Vince and the people with the stream team.
Totally.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have
At a table for us. But so we didn't get a lot of traction, but I think it was still worth doing to have a presence there.
No, for sure. And we picked up trash with stream team bags and t-shirts and stuff. We had kids out there. We got some new people on our list for that. And I genuinely feel like if we switch to fall, that could be clutch. Like, let's switch to fall and have people out at 6 p.m. instead of 7. And so they're very open to that. We actually have a meeting in like 2 weeks. So the hope is to keep it going, but kind of try and capitalize on some better weather and also planting season, because I talked to Vince about maybe doing saplings for like a giveaway. So like doing oak tree giveaway for the event. And he said he was going to find out about that. So hopefully.
So is that through Rotary that he's thinking about doing that?
Well, the Rotary Club is doing the whole century tree like thing that we're just talking about. So yes, it'd be through that.
Okay.
But they're paying to have those trees grown. So part of me wants to just go collect acorns myself and grow some saplings myself and give them away, but I'll find out more.
Yeah, let's do that too.
Okay.
Add some extra oaks. Yeah, because I know where there's some bur oaks, like we can literally start some.
Okay.
You want to?
Let's do that. Us too.
We can start
Okay.
Okay.
I am fully invested. Let's do it. Okay.
All right. Well,
I'm taking care of that.
I think we'll hopefully we need to, if we're gonna sponsor that event again, or that I don't even know that they're asking us to do that again. Were they appreciative of that, Liz? Did they?
Oh my gosh, so appreciative, because they were so upside down. They put it together at the last minute and they were very thankful and they wanted to do it again. They were like super excited. We had a meeting right away, like 2 days after it happened, to just talk about what could we do better next year? What should we do? And that's when I brought up, like, let's maybe pick better weather. Let's capitalize on the bur oak and maybe try and give out saplings to get people to plant them. And so I provided my ideas, and they were super grateful that we sponsored them. They gave a big shout out when they were presenting the acts that were there, and just said they were so thankful that we'd provided our support. And it was really cool. Like, lots of people under the subtle lights that they made, and just like sitting next to the bur oak, which is a truly a truly cool tree that we have here in our parks, and they appreciated it. So
all right, well, it's good. I'm glad to know that they're already starting conversations for next year, because
for sure,
if they do want our help, that will give us time to consider whether that's something we want to, with our sponsorships available, if that's something we want to sponsor again, or how we might want to be,
like, our ideas, like if we can give them anything for what we think would be a way to attract more people or to promote the parks better, we have that time now to provide influence. So.
Okay, well, maybe I'll keep the Borough Oak Festival as a line item in our old business. Because you said you're gonna meet again soon.
We're supposed to meet on the 15th. So I'm going out with them.
So maybe you can give us an update at that time, or at our next meeting, I should say.
Yes, I will.
Okay, thanks. If there's nothing else about that, we'll go on to the next item of business, which is the Green Our City sort of workshop and next steps. Want to talk about the workshop, Joe?
So the Green Our City initiative we had, which I don't know if you're familiar with it yet, we're allotted 40 15-gallon trees to be planted in residents right of ways. We had 73 applicants and Oak Works approved 40 sites. Carrie and I inspected each site and we have selected trees suitable for each location. Then on July 15th, we held our Green Our City workshop at Larson Park. Thank you, Laura and Yvonne, for helping set it up and helping us run it. We had roughly 30 residents come in, I think, or I can't remember what the.
At least, yeah.
Mark Roof from the Conservation Department.
Yeah, I think it was 38.
It was a 38.
Or 36. It was a lot.
I don't remember.
Anyway.
So Mark Greer from the Conservation Department came and spoke in regards to why we need, trees and, installing more canopy in urban forest and what have you. We also had Billy Haig from Forest Relief doing a tree planting demo. Overall, we had good feedback and everybody's really attentive and it was actually really good. Carrie is working with Jen Starkey to create a video for future presentations for people that couldn't make it. Is that kind of where we're at? Which I might be able to talk more on that. I don't really know where we're at, but as far as that's the next steps, we're to order trees, which will be later this month. We'll be ordering from site 1 this year, and Yvonne, Forest Relief, we're contract growing with them, or we're planning. Is that locked in? Are they growing the?
I haven't talked to them real recently, but as far as I know the goal was to contract grow future planting trees from Forest Relief, 15-gallon trees. The planting date is set for October 7th, so we will need volunteers.
Yes, mark your calendars.
Public Works will be pre-drilling the holes, delivering the trees, as well as dropping off the mulch to go with the trees. So the idea is to plant 40 trees. So should be easy to obtain if they are augering the holes prior to us showing up. Last year, we broke into little teams and we had to hand dig all the holes. We only planted 14 trees. So out of the 14 trees we planted, 13 lived. So
that's awesome.
So yeah, that's what I got. Carrie, anything to add to it, or maybe a background? So
I wanted to let you know that Jenny is working on the video. So we had four residents who couldn't attend. They had prior commitments and they expressed, regret for not being able to make it, but really wanted to participate. So we're developing a video that is sort of an evergreen thing so that we can use it again next year and potentially modify it for some other purposes too. But so we're going to have a video, short video that goes out to the participants who missed the event, and I can send it to you guys too, just so you can see what it is. That should go out at the end of the month, at the end of August. So those people will be sort of educated about what it means to be a steward and, how to plant a tree and what we're expecting from them and why trees are so important to the community.
What day is planting day again?
October 7th. It's a Saturday. We're going to start at 9 o'clock. We're going to meet at the rec center, just like we did last year with tools. We're going to subdivide into teams. Just like last year, I'm counting on all you guys to be part of a team. And hopefully we'll have some more volunteers too. But Joe and I figured with the pre-digging, and we've talked to Yvonne about this too, that we should be able to plant 40 trees, even if we just have the exact same number of volunteers we had last time. So we do need a picture taker. I don't know if Emily, if you're available on October the 7th, it's Saturday. Last year, Linda was taking pictures for us, and we, you know, produced this with her help. So that's an important job too.
We're at 9, is that what you said?
9 o'clock.
9
We'll meet
at
the rec center, and then from there we'll divide up the planting lists and tools.
So it's all over the place this year, right?
Yes, it is all over the place.
Yeah,
So last year we targeted a specific neighborhood, and we actually knocked on people's doors and put that little flyer on their door and said, please contact us if you want a tree. And we had, basically it panned out that we had about 14 trees to plant. And I thought, there are way more people than 14 who want to have a tree planted in the right way. I said, we decided we needed to change it, and we just opened it up basically to the general public. And we got, like Joe said, 73 respondents. And the city arborist, Andre Bueller, took a look at all those sites and basically decided that about 40 of them actually could accommodate a right-of-way tree.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we, coincidentally, it's 40, the city is now 40 years tree city that day. So it's sort of a, actually I went back to one of our, we had 39 trees on the books. And I went back to one of the women, Victoria Holloway, Vicki Holloway, who had definitely had room for 2 trees in her yard last year, but just went for 1. So I said, please plant another one for us so we can make 40.
Oh,
and she was more than happy to do it.
Nicely done.
Yeah, so she's in our 40th tree.
So that's a good news story. Right?
Yeah, you can wrap it up with leaves too.
Yeah.
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 That's good.
So
And 2 for.
I am wondering if there's anybody who would want to, so we have the final list of trees, and Joe, I made a copy of this for you. Hard to read, but well, you guys can pass it around. Those are our 40 residents. That's the final list of trees. There's a column there that basically was the notes we took. I'm wondering if somebody would have some time in the next month to create some kind of document that we could hand off to the homeowners that talked about their tree species, so we can make sure that for all those different species of trees that are on that list, that we're leaving information about that particular tree for that homeowner, like Nyssa sylvatica, you know, the ecological benefits, you know, what kind of critters love that tree and need that tree, the benefits as far as shade and size and etc. I think that'll be important to leave with them.
That's great.
Are the trees broke down by, it's just kind of random right now? I just kind of looked at it.
I broke it down by zone.
Okay.
Like we had planned. Yeah. So yeah, you just have to go through that list. I have an extra copy of that. So if somebody could even pull that information together, like in a Word document, like a page for each species, then I could create a little flyery thing to give to everybody. I think there's probably what, 10 species on there? Mm-hmm. 12, maybe.
Yeah.
So there's 10 cut sheets.
As much information you're looking for.
It'll probably even be a half a page. I don't think it needs to be more
stuff on
Mobot website
or Arbor Day Foundation.
I'd say Mobot or Arnold Arboretum would be the best place to look.
I already need to do a little background research for my Leave the Leaves social media thing, so I might be able to like fold that in if nobody else wants to step up and do that. Anybody else feel like doing it? Otherwise,
Bill, you want to research some trees?
I'm nominating unicorn.
Unicorn.
Hey, Bill, you want to do some? He doesn't know. He's hearing it. You want to do some legwork on? You probably know all those trees. Do you want to?
I've got a problem with work I'm doing right now that
okay.
got me all excited.
I'll do it. Okay. How many are there?
You know,
There's probably 10 or 12.
Okay. I'll do it. Can you send me the list?
Yeah, I can send you the list. And like I said, you could just do it in a Word document. And I would kind of almost follow the plant, do you know Plant Finder on Missouri Botanical Gardens website?
Yep.
I mean, you could just pull stuff off of there.
There's a great site, the USDA plant list.
Yeah.
I got it. And like what we can, yeah, I got it.
I think one thing that's not in MOBOT necessarily are the ecological benefits, like what insects use these trees as habitat and how they use them.
But that is in the USDA plant list. There's all kinds of information.
Okay.
Origin, plant origin.
And I know
its current uses.
Do you want to do it? Do you want to do it? Like, no, I have no.
I'll send you the website.
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And I think just keeping it simple is the best thing to do. We don't want to overwhelm anybody.
Emily, I can send it to you, and if you want to add or whatever, we can do it together or
collaborate. Yeah.
Loop me into this.
I got it. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Keep it simple. KISS. And then we'll give them that on planting day. We're going to give them the magnet that we created last year that tells them how to water, which is really simple. And then hopefully we're going to have a tag that goes on the tree to talk about the value of the tree. And if anybody wants to help me with that, that would be great. But I was planning on doing that.
Are we giving them buckets?
Yeah, we do give them buckets. 5 gallon. Everybody gets a 5 gallon bucket, the magnet, information about their tree, and a tag to put on their tree to advertise.
Can we see the list of where they're going?
Well,
you can email it.
Yeah, it's really tiny.
No, text me a picture. I don't care.
I'll send you a PDF.
Okay.
They're going all over the city. I mean,
totally hold it in front of the camera.
Joe and I drove all over the city.
And vaguely interested. I just want to know where they're going. So
yeah, I'll send you. They're all going in the front of residences, Liz. Residences in Webster. 40 of them. Exactly. Okay. Any other questions about that so far?
X me on the next to the name.
You can hardly read the column. So this list has their names, whether they came to the workshop.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it.
If they didn't come to the workshop, everybody who didn't come has an okay because I've talked to them about it. Oh, okay. We're getting them the video. And then with the arborists, the city's arborists have selected, trees that are suitable for that location. And then there's just some other notes on there that I'm sort of keeping myself organized.
So they didn't get a choice?
No choices this year. Last year they had a choice, which complicated things. We're simplifying it this year. We're focused on native plants, size 15 gallon size, so that it's more adaptable and can just take off. And then we were looking at site considerations like overhead utilities or
and that's the thing
right away.
Andre approved some sites with power lines above, so we had to get creative with what are we going to put under that's not going to touch communication lines or get Ameren to hat rack it. So we had to do some soul searching there. So we'll see. But the thing is, though, if the public works is allowing us to plant in right of ways like that, that opens up more planting places across the whole entire city. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
What plants on the list have you got that you can plant under a power line?
Sure.
40 red bugs, Bill.
I was actually thinking of red bud.
Bugs would be into them.
Lots of red.
Berry.
Surfsberry. Oh, I love surfsberry.
We have not considered that. I don't know if that was on. So we were picking from a list provided by Site 1 for this stage. I mean, if there's something like that in the future that we want to have for us really grow, that would totally,
Don't have wires.
The ones
the silky dogwood, if that's that shouldn't be. One of those from Beyond Housing.
Okay. So our budget will need, well, actually it won't. So the money for this initiative, for the trees, for the buckets, for the magnets, for the workshop, comes from the city's tree fund. City has a tree fund that developers pay into when they are unable to accommodate tree replacement on development sites. They are sort of made to put a penalty into the tree fund, and that tree fund is to be used to plant trees in the public right of way. And up until last year, the only place that was really being done was in the parks. Yvonne was doing a ton of planting in the parks.
I did do a tree planting with Forest Relief in Blackburn Park.
Yeah,
A
so
few years back, yeah.
there's a lot of that has been happening over the last 10 years, as long as Yvonne has been in charge of parks, and probably before that. But we wanted to see trees going into the public. You know, basically public rights of way in residential areas. So that's where that is derived from. So I'm thinking also that budget will pay for these tags, since it paid for the magnets and the buckets. Great. Okay. Did I miss anything, Joe? Any other questions about green our city? If you guys have anyone that you think might want to plant with you, like Laura's husband was great last year. My husband came out. If you have anybody else, you know, that might be
Laura's husband.
That might be.
You and myself and your husband worked together.
We did. So. Yeah, we did a good job.
Yeah. We're getting it so alive.
That would be appreciated too. Just let me know. All right, then new business. I wanted to talk to you guys about, and this kind of ties in with what you were talking about earlier, Emily, and things that Liz and Corin are doing in Larson Park right now. I wanted to talk about some of the native gardens that need some TLC in our parks. I know that Jerry's been doing some maintenance of, for example, I think he was out at Ivory Crockett lately, and he's been in a couple of other spots pulling weeds in some of the newly planted native gardens. But I think as a commission, I'd like to see us all step up even a little more. And I have an idea to propose to you guys. We've got the green keepers out there. And Yvonne, I think, is using this pretty well for big things like honeysuckle cleanup kind of events. But I think we could also use it in smaller ways, kind of like the last event you posted about Ivory Crockett Park. I don't think you had anybody take you up on that, but I think we could, what I would like to see is all of us. This is my big idea, and you guys can tell me if I'm crazy, that we would all dedicate a Saturday or a Sunday of our own appointment to a native plant garden or natural area that Yvonne can identify as, in need of attention. And then we would sign up on the city's calendar just once a month to lead a crew of people, hopefully citizens, who want to join the ranks of, helping their community. And I think there are some pretty high visibility areas that need attention right now that are native plantings. I'm just worried about those plantings giving native plantings a bad rap, right? Like we want those things to be really successful so that people want to do them, so that we can keep doing them, so that the city is encouraged to do those sort of things. I know right now Yvonne is shorthanded. I think you had somebody resign today, you told me.
Jeremiah.
Oh,
So,
Wait, what? I missed that. What?
I did not see
oh,
that.
she had someone resign today from her staff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, you know, I think with the budget changes that have happened recently and the contract mowing going away, you know, the Parks Department has their hands full with maintaining the parks to the high level of detail that they have been. And I think some of the native planting areas, because they look a little wilder, just haven't necessarily been a focus. There's been lots of other things to focus on. So I would like us to step up if we can once a month and just pick a spot. And if you want to, I think Yvonne should identify these kind of high priority areas. Like I see that Larson Park Rain Garden as one of those places. And I've seen that need some attention recently. And, you know, not everybody is going to be as adept as everybody else as identifying, you know, native or invasive plants and things like that. But I'm sure Yvonne or I or Joe or Corinne could kind of coach you guys with what should be coming out of these kinds of spaces. But if we could each volunteer just one day a month at one of these spaces and get it up on the calendar so that every third Thursday of whatever, you know, Corinne's going to be out at Blackburn Park in this space and people could sign up to join Corinne. So you might get whatever space it is. You might get several people just coming out regularly. That would be the hope. And the city has just, like the Ivory Crockett Park event that Yvonne put out there, which we just need to advertise better, I think. You know, there's a space if people go to Greenkeepers and sign up, they can get notified about these events. So people can get notified about these cleanups that we would have. I also reached out to Scott Davis, who is the city liaison for the Parks and Recreation Department, because I thought they need to get in this bandwagon too. You know, but they're all our parks and public spaces and green spaces. So
I think,
what do you guys think?
I think we need to market to the high school kids, like all over the area. I mean, you know, like Webster, they have high school kids going everywhere, but they all need community service hours, not just for the A+ program, but for like other stuff that they're also doing. So this would really, conservation service hours really fall into that.
And we do have now where you can sign up on Civic Rep as a greenkeeper, and you can click a button that the waiver, so you don't have to do the waiver in paper anymore. But we need Jenny to put that on the website. So along with the notifications that they have to do. So let's say Joe wants to have a weeding event at Blackburn Park. He can talk to Jenny and Katie Kirby at the rec center and say, hey, can you set this up on Civic Rec? I need 20 volunteers and the time and the address and everything and what you want them to bring, or I can support with tools. And then Jenny and Katie will set that up, and then people should go on and they need to sign up on Civic Rec. So you know how many volunteers you have.
That'd be great.
And then each person can do that.
Okay. And I like it. I like that idea.
And maybe Yvonne, you want to like write out like who to contact and what you just said, you know, reach out to these people and ask for these things and then
Well, I think
To everybody, okay.
Well, I think the event would be
Well, I probably need to send the group instructions on how to set up an event.
who to talk to so that you can set up your time.
Okay.
And, you know, how many volunteers you would like and how many volunteers you could handle. I mean, I kind of see it as small group things. If we're going to be doing it regularly, it's just kind of a small. Hopefully you get 3 people in the neighborhood who.
Yeah, and I
wanna
say
help
keep
with
it
that.
short and sweet, because you'll get people are good for about an hour and then they get kind of tired.
That's a good point.
Distracted. And I think if you say we need you for 1.5 hours to take care of this garden, and if we have 20 people, we're going to get it all accomplished, that kind of thing.
But if you have 3 people, you can get the big obnoxious things.
Yeah.
Yvonne, do you have a list of sites?
Oh, yeah. And we haven't talked about this list.
Oh,
This
okay.
was just my first
I
flush
see.
of
Okay.
this idea. I'm throwing it out for you guys. To see who would be, and maybe you could think on it, and Yvonne and I could put a list together and then get it back out to you guys, and you could sign up
It'd be
for a
pretty
spot.
easy to just set it up. If you look at some of the old blasts on Greenkeepers, you can kind of see what to bring, what to wear, what to expect, parking instructions, just kind of the basics. Like if you go to volunteer, what information are you given? And then you'll contact the people at the rec center who will set the event up on the calendar, and so that people can sign up for it. And then Jenny can link that to the city's website, and then everybody can advertise it on their social media. And then a day or two before, you can email the rec center and ask how many people have signed up. And they'll give you a list of who signed up for the event.
And if there was nobody, you would go out to the park and weed for an hour, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm the,
Yeah, if it's during the
pessimist.
day, you can ask for staff support, or if you need tools, I'll make sure the tools get there.
And you're really good about just saying, like, leaving a pile somewhere and saying,
Yeah, you can just make a pile of weeds, and we're trying to get to where we can leave like a dump trailer or something there, so it's easy, and then we don't have extra work on our end. And then so you can do this on the weekend, you can do it in the evening, you can try it all different kinds of times of the day, because people are sometimes would rather just come out at 6:30 in the morning and weed for an hour. Oh, wow. Perfect.
There's
yes.
just a couple comments. So we used Greenkeepers last year in Mayor's Monarch Pledge for planting a lot of these new pollinator gardens. So the big Ruhi garden project with the Women's Garden Club got about 40 people to show up. And then we did the City Hall garden and the Ivory Crockett garden with postings on the Greenskeepers. So having an event and ahead of time and promoted. And then for maintenance, that's the problem with building these new gardens. So I've been doing City Hall and the concrete garden next to the bank. And those literally take 10 minutes. So they're easy, and watering when needed. With all these rains now, I'm not gonna have to water for a bit. Ivory Crockett was last weeded in June, late June, early July. And then I just did it, and it took 2 hours, and it's completely weeded all the way around. And there's a little bit of zoysia grass in the middle. I'm waiting to dry out, because if you try and pull it when it's wet, it comes up in pieces instead of. But if we have if Yvonne can identify, like the rain garden at Larson, if we really promoted that and just got on a Saturday 40 people to show up, or the rain garden at Southwest Park, or these other areas, that might be the first start, to get a lot of the work done. Where I'm at in the season now that I've weeded, things are coming back real slowly. So there's not, a lot of maintenance. So one big weeding push now would cover through the end of the season. That if we could get a list of these and promote them as big projects.
Well, I think that's why I want to rely on, I'm hoping I can rely on you guys to, to volunteer a couple of hours once a month so that we can advertise this. And I think, a couple of hours once a month with 5 people even, or 2 people will make a big difference, really. But, like Jerry said, if we can get 30 or 40 people out there, we'll be making an impact. So how many sites do you think fall into this sort of native garden? 50.
Wow. 15?
50.
5-0. Oh, wow. Yay. Oh.
Can we get a list?
Yeah, we'll do that. So I guess that sort of leads me back to I don't think we want to be adding any more gardens until we know that all our gardens are looking great, right? So let's build up this volunteer group. We've got a really good sort of baseline. And a network that Yvonne and Linda had created. I think we just need to like really push on this. We need to make this an effort. Not just about putting new stuff out there, but maintaining. Anybody else have any comments about that? You guys like that idea? I know you're all busy. I know you all.
I'm gonna make a list of.
I can give an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, the site list would be.
Well, you could pick the one that's
You could
walking
do
distance from
Barnacle
you.
Park. Barnacle Park or Deer Creek
I
Park.
said Deer Creek was what I was thinking, but
So Yvonne and I'll put a.
natives in Barnacle?
There's an aronia planting there.
Which one?
Switchgrass.
Switchgrass, chokeberry. I was just there.
Yeah.
Are you talking about right at the parking area or
Yes, and down the trail too.
down
And
the
I'm
trail?
sure-
Okay, I guess I haven't walked the trail because I hadn't seen anything.
Oh,
It's beautiful. Man, that's where I walk my grandson every morning.
I'm guessing Yvonne, if we pick a site, you would meet us out there for the first time and, you know, say, these are the things you need to focus on here. You know, don't pull every weed, worry about the keen of the goldenrod, right? Yeah. Right. So we'll get a little orientation from Yvonne in any of these particular areas we want to sign up for. And I know this won't solve the problem, but I think it'll help. And I think for you to prioritize, like, what are the ones that, yeah.
I like it, Carrie. I don't know if I can commit to once a month, but I can certainly try.
I think if we get the park board, then you might be looking at once every other month.
Okay.
If we could get
Their
their commission on
collaboration.
board to just
That'd be great.
do it, to take the bull by the horn, this is your site. You arrange it with the rec center, you arrange it with Jenny, you post it, you recruit, and you knock it out. We support you with tools and like.
Like it.
So maybe.
I'll team up with you, Corin.
Yeah.
No,
Probably not gonna lie.
I think it was Ginger that
Your
said,
own site.
And the goal is to engage the public because
Right.
the public is always, they're always coming to me and they want to help. And then I say, go sign up as a greenkeeper. And then they lose steam or whatever. And I just need to be able to.
So
Yeah,
people could be
better.
assigned to a team. Right? Instead of just sign up for greenkeepers, they would be a little.
Well, they would get a notification that the greenkeepers are having an event. There's gonna be an event in Larson Park Rain Garden Cleanup on every Saturday, every third Saturday of the month from 9 to 11. I'm gonna volunteer to lead that crew. So that would always be out there and it would show up as an event every time. And if we can get Jenny to do just a little push, like this event is coming.
Put a volunteer calendar on the city's website and people can just go view it. And then it should be linked where if they want to join, they can hover over and click and it takes you to Civic Rec and then you sign
I
up.
love that idea. And I think what you're saying is right, like people want to volunteer, but if there's nothing on the calendar,
Yeah.
then you lose steam. But if there's always something going on for people to pick from, keep people engaged, maybe.
Yeah.
And those high school kids and Boy Scout, like they all need service hours. So
I think, yeah, it's just, I think if we can sort of get the ball rolling and get greenkeepers out there and be talking about it a little more and have these opportunities, I think the momentum will grow. Hopefully. Okay, so Yvonne, you and I can put a list together of the priority locations.
Okay.
And then we can hopefully write a like the little request that we would send to whoever it is. Please put this event on the calendar once a month, this time, this day.
Yeah.
Etc.
What kind of cleanup do you do in the fall in these places?
We're just trying to pull the weeds as best as we can.
So like tall flowering plants, you don't cut them back?
We always wait to the last minute to cut that back if you can wait until the spring
Well, that's
or
what.
late winter. Yeah, because you want habitat for the wildlife over the winter.
But I think deadheading and stuff like that would be like.
You can deadhead.
Well, that would be kind of the last thing you would want to do, right? There's so much other stuff to do first.
Well, so it could be a little bit more citizen science-y than just weed pulling, but habitat maintenance, or specific habitat maintenance.
Yeah, and if you get to know your site really well, then
Right.
you can be the educator.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Do you give any comments about the looks of the plants as they die back? People complaining or?
I don't think so. I think the complaints that we are getting this year are it's basically the grass. Is the
not
main,
being
yeah. And some complaints about the beds, and one of the beds, the complaint came in, there were absolutely no weeds in the bed. They were native plants. So that was, I mean, if somebody just thinks native plants are weeds, I can't defend that.
There's a thing too about leaving stems and stuff for, you know, the bees to use.
Yeah, we cut them to a
But
certain height.
I mean, to do that, you have to do it, you'll have to leave them the next year because that's when they would use them.
Maybe we could even in our gardens post a sign that says this garden is maintained by.
While you're doing what you're doing.
Well, just like to leave the calling card with the little thing about signing up for greenkeepers.
Yeah.
If you like what's happening here. Jerry, did you say something?
I was going to ask Yvonne if she has the names of all the complainers, and they can be the next round of volunteers.
Yeah. We'll reach out to them personally.
Wait, I missed that. Say again.
He asked for a list of the complainers so we can reach out to them and get them to volunteer.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
We tried that.
We're gonna lead by example.
We did.
Yeah. That's like putting your hand in the hornet's nest. No, thank you.
Okay, any other thoughts or comments? We'll get some information out about this then. The next item of new business is the upcoming Eco-Ed talk, Thursday, August 10th, 7 p.m. at Webster U. It's gonna be, I don't know if you guys saw, but I think it's gonna be Jean Ponzi presenting about like mosquito kind of educating about mosquitoes. Those
Like
issues.
the one we did.
Yeah, we did do one like that, and I thought that was a great talk, and I'm sure she's got updated information that she's gonna put in there, so I encourage you to go. I believe I'm gonna go. I'm excited.
Wait, what's the date?
Thursday,
August 10th, this Thursday, 7 o'clock.
Say again.
This Thursday.
Oh, this Thursday. Okay.
7 o'clock, Webster University.
Oh, I think I have it on the calendar. Yeah.
I
Okay.
was gonna say there was a post about it.
Yeah.
The sustainability, I think I posted something about it.
Like that.
Just down the stairs, down the stairs and to the right. Okay, and they're planning more. I don't know what's in the works for the Eco-Ed. Hopefully we'll have a subcommittee meeting soon about that.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
If we're still in new business, is Jamie Hasselmeyer still in the same role?
I don't have an answer.
I do.
I haven't heard anything different.
Thing has resigned from the sustainability.
So given that, which is a blow, I think,
Sure.
we probably should figure out how the subcommittee will go forward without her.
Do you know who have they?
I don't know who the new chair is.
Okay, well, we might just have to wait a little bit.
I know that they got a new commission member who interviewed the same night that you.
Oh, yeah, Karen. Somebody.
Yes.
Okay.
She was at Linda Green's.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think I know who that is. Yeah. And I can talk to Carla.
Actually, she said she wanted to be really involved with the subcommittee.
She did, okay.
Karen.
Well, that works out really well.
Yeah.
Is she Anderson?
So,
Anderson.
okay, so the commission spot has been filled.
Okay.
The chair spot, I don't know who's taking the chair role.
Jamie and we had been talking about having a meeting this month originally, and I guess I can reach out to Carla and see if she still wants to meet.
Why don't you ask? If you would do that, that would be great.
I can 100%.
I mean, you could just say, hey, we heard Jamie's gone.
Yeah.
You guys still want to do this?
Okay. Would you be free this month if we were going to meet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure, I can. Okay. The next item of new business is the Gibbons Elementary back to school bash. I might let Emily talk a little this. Emily talked just a little bit about this, but last year, I don't know if you guys remember, but the Gibbons folks reached out to us about their back to school bash and asked us if we would want to have a table, like an educational table there. And it was really kind of just like a week or two prior to the event. And I think all of us were like, well, that sounds like a good idea, but there's not enough time to figure that out. So they reached out to us much sooner, months ago. It's on September the 8th, from 5 to 7 at Gibbons Elementary School. I honestly don't know where that is.
It's Steger.
It's
Steger.
Yeah,
Okay. Yes.
That's it.
Okay. And it would be a table to share some of the efforts that are happening around the city, as well as any upcoming events that students could participate in.
Oh, well, hey.
We got a lot of efforts they can participate in.
K through 5.
K through 5, that's good information.
Carrie, what day did you say this was?
September the 8th.
September the 8th.
5 to 7. I think that's a Friday. For some reason, I think that's Friday.
I think it is a Friday.
It's a Friday.
My kiddo's taking the ACT the next day.
Okay, so I'm asking, we don't have to commit to this. I think we're just extending an invitation.
I'll tell you, I did a stream team table last year and it was totally good. Like we got a lot of signups. So
good.
Yeah.
Maybe it's worth it.
I'll volunteer to help with that, Carrie.
Okay. Well, I need a volunteer to lead it because I'm not going to be able to be there.
What's the
I'd like to change my answer.
It's September the 8th.
I volunteer to lead it if you need.
Okay. So if somebody would want to help Jerry, that would be awesome. I can get you some signage, Jerry, just like I did for Corin for the Bur Oak. And
You want those back, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, I still have it.
I do want
all the tree stuff you had was great.
Yeah, and we've got a tablecloth, and I don't know if you want to brainstorm on something educational to talk about with them, or if it just could be just general information. But I think
leave leads.
Yeah, leave the leads.
Yeah.
What is that and what is it about? That's a great idea. Okay, so I think what I'll do then, Jerry, is email Emily and the person who Alex and say, yes, we can have a table there. We would be happy to host a table there. And I'll put them in contact with you, Jerry.
Great.
And then you can coordinate whatever needs to be coordinated. And if anybody wants to help Jerry, email him.
Okay.
So he knows.
Trying to figure out my dates I'll keep you posted.
It's fun. There's so much activity on those things. Kids are running around getting popsicles
and will you be there that night with your?
I have a conflict. I'll see if I can move the conflict.
Okay.
So normally I would be there, but I
just curious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Friday nights, that's just not a good time.
Do you remember if they had tables like?
They did have tables last year.
They provided a table. Like we don't need to get a table.
I don't think
you need.
Alex will know, but I don't think we'll need to actually have the table.
Okay.
The library was there last time, like the Rock Hill Library, and they ran out of stuff, like it was slammed. So definitely there'll be lots of, I anticipate what Liz said, that there'll be lots of traffic.
Okay. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.
Okay, well, and the last item of new business that I just added was, I would love to know more. I heard you're volunteering with this Rotary Club 100.
Yeah, all told, kind of. I can give you what he sent me, his little PowerPoint.
I'm just curious about it.
Yeah, I'll just read off what he sent me. So this is from Vince. It is Century Oaks of Webster Groves project to honor the 100th anniversary of the Rotary Club of Webster Groves in 2024. Nominations accepted from Webster Groves community members through mid-September of 2023. Annual will select 100 Century Oaks in late September of 23. 10 of the Century Oaks will be named Legacy Oaks. Acorns from the legacy trees will be collected in October of 23. Forest Healing Nursery will grow said acorns into saplings. Rotary Club will offer legacy saplings to Webster Groves residents in the fall of 24 as a club fundraiser. That's what he's got cooking. So,
and so if I'm correct or understand it correctly, he's going to have people reviewing these applications to say, yes, this can be a legacy oak. And you are one of those people.
Correct.
Okay.
So,
cool.
See how that goes.
Right. When is the deadline for that?
End of September.
End of September.
So
do you know, for the trees of distinction nominations, we say anybody can nominate a tree. We just need to get a hold of the homeowner to like coordinate with them. Is this any oak can be nominated? It doesn't matter where it
sounds like, but I'm just there for moral support.
I think it's already nominated 3, 4, 5.
Wow.
I think it's just nomination for any tree that's an oak. Yeah. Like,
what did the nomination look like? Did you do it online?
I sent mine directly to Vince. I had a few.
Did you just send him an address? How'd you?
Yeah, you send an address. You send an address, and they're spending $25 per tree for the acorns to be made into saplings. So it's a big deal. Because I messaged him wondering if maybe we could have a tree giveaway for the future Burr Oak Festival, and he's open to it, but it's $25 at the nursery to manage those acorns. So
that seems cheap.
$25, I guess, per tree.
Trees.
It does, but at the same time, if you're giving them away.
All right. Well, I just wanted you guys to know about that program that's happening.
Vince is also doing invasive removals at the bird sanctuary area and mobilizing volunteers there as well. Liz and I were talking to him about that a little bit at the Burr Oak Grove.
He's got a lot going for sure.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
That's why we gave him our tree steward award.
100%.
With a friend of, can you hear me?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, we can hear you.
With a friend of Vince, with Morgan, we're taking care of the 500 trees we all planted in the front of Blackburn, the understory trees on the west side of Blackburn with Morgan Coulter. So we water those and once a week. So, and again, we did that through Greenskeeper and got 500 trees planted in, what was it, Yvonne, 2 hours? And so we're keeping those watered, and I'd say at least 95% of them made it. So these rains have helped.
Yeah,
amazing. Good work.
Hey, Yvonne, remember you told me to, you gave me some milkweeds when we were planting, I think it was the concrete garden.
Oh, wow.
Can you see?
Oh, I've seen it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is
Very nice.
Nice.
this is the nursery that you gave them to me, so I'm nursing them and we can replant them.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right. If there's no other new business, we could go on to the council liaison update.
I think I'm trying to think of what's going on. There's really lots going on, but I think the main update is probably the pool. I'm just updating you guys on that. There was some write-up in the Webster Kirkwood Times, so you might have seen that already. So we want to put the pool bond, the pool needs to be replaced. Let me back up to that. It's coming up on 30 years old. There's, you know, pipes underneath that are cracked and walls. And so they've been doing the repair route for about the last 10 years. And so it needs to be replaced. It's a big project. So we had community engagement sessions and surveys and things like that to kind of get the idea of what people wanted. And it sounds like what people really, really feel that we cannot go smaller. That if we're going to replace it, we need to be able to have the same number of people at the pool. So there were some smaller, less expensive options. And what we've ended up with is kind of saying we need basically like a replacement. So it's kind of the same type of thing. The pools are a little bit more separate. Like the younger age pool is a little bit more separate than it is now. And so that would go out to the voters to vote on in the April election. The piece that we're not in agreement on is whether to do an indoor option. So there's a lot of community interest in doing some kind of indoor option. High school swim team doesn't have a home pool, things like that. So, there is an option where you could get it almost looks like a greenhouse, like it kind of goes over the lap lanes. And so it could be open in the summertime, but you could have it kind of enclosed in the winter. We have enough bonding capacity that if we wanted to do that, we could do that. But what we don't have is the ability to know how are we going to pay for that each year. So the capital cost could be covered by the bond issue, but Scott Davis has done a lot of research on this, and indoor pools just don't recover their costs. So the city would need to subsidize it. We subsidize, and that's fine. But my sticking point has been
I asked for me.
Yeah, I think she's sorry. So yeah.
So based on Scott's numbers, and of course this is all an estimate because we don't have one right now. It looks like the difference between what the pool would bring in and what our annual operating cost would be about $250,000 a year. So the question is, can we cover that in our existing budget, which has been so tight and we've done all these cuts? I don't know where we would find that. Or are residents wanting an indoor pool so much that they're like, yes, and I would like to pay more in property taxes to help run it every year. And I don't know how popular that would be. So those are some of the discussions that have been going on. So if you see things in the paper that are 2 council members voted against putting that, well, it's because they want the indoor option. So they do want a pool. And I felt like the way that got written up in the paper could be a little misleading. They do want the pool. They just really, really want the indoor option. And it's just hard. It's hard to know. I would love to do the indoor option, but I'm having a hard time with it because financially I'm like, where are those annual operating costs coming from? If we had reached out to Shrewsbury and Rock Hill to see if they were interested in partnering. They are both solid no's. They are not interested in doing that. We've also invited the different schools in town and have had some interest in lane rentals and things like that, but not, yes, we would like to partner with you and help cover those kind of costs. So I think those discussions are probably still open, but I don't know. The school's got their own capital projects going on right now too. So that's kind of the thing. I was like, it would be really cool to have. But, and of course, I'm not speaking from for the whole council, but from me, the discussions have been, how do we pay for it? And for me, that's a big sticking point. So, but either way, that it will be on the April bond issue for at least the replacement option. And then we're still kind of trying to figure out if we want to put questions on an indoor option to add on to that. But I'm happy to talk here or afterwards about any thoughts you all have. It's great to hear, get input on these types of big decisions. I'm really glad a voter decision. Like we just decide what goes on the ballot and then the voters will decide what they want. And I like that.
Well, if you can't pass something, we can fill the pool with dirt and plant trees in it.
Yeah.
It'll still be a win.
One more native garden to maintain.
I want to maintain it.
Great. I think we will definitely replace the pool, I'm sure, assuming the bond issue passes. And at this point in time, just, you know, the language around these bond issues, our bonds for Firehouse 2 are just about paid off. So when we go out for this, you'll hear people talk about it as a no tax increase bond issue. And that just means that like your tax rates wouldn't go up to do this. But what nobody ever says is they would go down if it didn't pass. So it's not a tax increase, but those taxes would be retired basically. So just, you know, full disclosure and transparency. Sometimes that phrase sounds a little hippie. It's the best way to talk about it, but it's not always super descriptive. So well, other than that, just go on. We had a good parade float too. But the problem with being in a parade float is you don't see all the other entries.
Right.
Yeah.
So my kid rode with me and helped wave and stuff, but next year I think she's gonna hang out so she can actually see the rest of the parade.
All right, thank you, Emily. Reimbursement checks from when people purchase little things here and there should be coming in the mail.
Okay.
And I don't know, I doubt you'll get your tax back because okay. And then going forward, we have to make sure that I do the purchasing because the commission doesn't actually have purchasing power. So we don't need to discuss it any further than that. But and then our next meeting won't be the 4th.
Right.
I think that's Labor Day.
I wrote that incorrectly. Our next meeting will be September 11th at 5 p.m.
And it is on the city calendar on the 11th at 7:15.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah. Okay. So everyone we all should have gotten an email from Steve Bader, long time ago. Like at the beginning of, well, whenever Liz started, we got an update that listed out all our meetings and it had invitations that you could share to your calendar. So I've got like all our meetings way in advance in my calendar already. Invitations to Zoom from Steve. So look for that. I feel like it comes from the city of Webster Groves. But if you don't have that, you maybe want to call Steve.
I'll have him resend it out.
Okay, so that's a great idea. He's gonna resend it. So look for that email and say, yes, you accept all of the invitations to Zoom, because then it'll populate your calendar and they'll always be there. I think he might still be sending it an hour before as well, but
It says it comes from Zoom for the hour before.
okay, but you can get them all on your calendar if you just accept his original invitation.
And will you make sure, Yvonne, he has the full list? Because I don't think I've ever gotten those, because I've served for him before. So maybe like the liaisons on it or something.
What's his name again?
Okay.
You said Steve.
Okay.
But it comes
Steve Baker.
from the city, I think.
Okay.
Or possibly even Zoom.
Okay.
The invite. And Emily, you probably don't have it yet.
No, I don't. I have
So,
nothing from the city. So.
We need to get her updated anyway, so this is perfect time.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Yay, because I have to get to the Hockenhaus to hear my son's band play.
Yeah, this is an exceptionally long meeting. Normally we're a little shorter than
Really?
this,
Oh,
Emily.
Oh, yeah.
That's good to know.
So I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, 6:50, got it.
Anybody
I
want to
second,
Oh, second.
second?
third.
No, vote yes, we'll end
Yeah.
the meeting.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Gary and Corin.
Okay, everybody, Hawken House. Ta-da.
Hawken House.
Yeah.
Hawken House. I feel like